If people and animals begin to interact, expect drama or adventure. Huge, frightening, aggressive, dangerous, and curious or intrusive. That is what it means to be sociable from the animal's side. Some of these stories you would not believe if they had not been caught on camera. How will these incredible moments of contact between creatures from different worlds end? You are on the Top Facts channel, and we have for you a selection of captivating episodes about the meeting of characters from the animal world with the rational human. Shall we watch? This gorilla made headlines all over the world. On the 31st of August in the year 1986, an 11-year-old boy named Merritt was vacationing with his family in Jersey when, during a visit to Durrell Wildlife Park, he fell into the gorilla enclosure. Everyone watched in horror as the gorillas gathered around the child would decide his fate. A giant alpha male, known as Jumbo, approached him, and people froze in terror. Jumbo was very close to the boy and touched him. The child lay face down and did not respond. No one knows why, but Jumbo not only left the spot himself, he also led away all the other giant apes so that rescuers could quickly pull out the boy. Jumbo won the hearts of the whole world and positively renewed the image of the gorilla as a whole. Boasting is always a bad idea, and uncoiling a python wrapped around your neck even more so. Residents of a village in West Bengal in India reported a huge python in their field and called the forest rangers to capture the mighty snake and return it to the forest. And the rangers had everything under control and things were going well, until the senior officer decided to take a selfie with the snake around his neck. This was a very bad idea. The python seemed to have been waiting just for that moment. It instantly tightened its body around the man's neck, and soon all the bravado turned into saving the officer's life. Thank goodness the rangers quickly rushed to help and with difficulty loosened the powerful grip. But this is a lesson for everyone. Forget selfies with snakes forever. This panda needed the young man's jacket for some reason. The bear came right up to him and, through the enclosure fence, appropriated the item it liked. We would not claim this as an attack, but fortunately the animal was satisfied with the jacket. The person remained unharmed. The incident took place at a Chinese zoo in the year 2011, and that young man was posing for a photo in front of the panda enclosure. The panda, without hesitation, crept up from behind and grabbed that very jacket. People helped the poor fellow to get out of the panda's paws and out of the jacket, and the bear began to play with the trophy. The motive for the attack is unclear. Maybe it was cold in the zoo, or maybe pandas sometimes like to joke in a bear-like manner. Of all the elevators, this one is the most unusual. A boy was feeding a giraffe in the zoo and held the food so tightly that the animal almost lifted him, like an elevator, into its enclosure. All this happened in the presence of his parents, and if not for them, we do not know what the giraffe might have done with this child. Typical zoo moments, incredibly funny or unbelievably dramatic incidents, happen there all the time. Once, a man decided to ride a rhinoceros in its territory and even jumped onto its back, not suspecting how dangerous this could become. Here is another incredible moment in the zoo. Animals are very naive and inexperienced when it comes to human technology. Many had to find out the hard way how an electric fence works, and it really hurts. This clip was filmed by a tourist who was watching a family of chimpanzees in a zoo. Suddenly, a baby chimpanzee approached the edge of the enclosure and decided to investigate the wire, which immediately responded with a healthy dose of electric current. The baby was immediately gathered up and cuddled by the whole family to protect and comfort it. The little one immediately felt better, but definitely learned a hard lesson. Never again to touch that wire. A great way to get rich. Go to India to search for a royal cobra, inside whose head is supposedly a special black pearl. We are waiting to see who will become the first millionaire. If it were true, someone would surely have struck gold. But for now, it is just a viral clip designed to spark curiosity and greed. If you think cobras can produce black pearls called nagmani worth millions of dollars, then let us tell you, do not take them and do not cut them open. Snake charmers deliberately insert a pearl into the snake to dramatically pull it out in front of the camera. Snakes are not mollusks. They produce venom, and it is definitely not worth trying to extract it. Orcas are fierce top predators, some of the planet's absolute favorites, and watching them in captivity is a heartbreaking sight. Here we see an orca banging its head against its enclosure barrier because it feels lonely in a small prison space. In fact, it was nothing other than a strike. The clip instantly went viral and caused massive outrage among animal protection organizations. Zoo staff claimed that the orca simply panicked, but the footage, shot by an anonymous visitor to Loro Park in Tenerife, Spain, convinces us that this was a deliberate protest. The whale named Morgan, who was about to commit such a suicide, was isolated in a medical tank away from other orcas. But in the year 2019, another orca began banging its head against the glass wall. Activists chanted that cruelty must stop, and indeed, watching this is beyond all endurance. What do you think about this? Tell me in the comments section. This guy was fishing when he saw that a shark thrown ashore was desperately trying to get back to the ocean. After several unsuccessful attempts to push the stranded shark back into the water, he made an unexpected and quick decision. Holding it by the snout, he picked the shark up in his arms, and while it twisted and writhed, he carried it to a deeper place and gently released it into the waves. Agree, it is not the most ordinary or pleasant burden, but saving a life is worth trying. This is really strange. A fisherman caught a dead shark that turned out to be pregnant, and there was no time to hesitate. To save the babies, he had to immediately perform a cesarean section on the shark. No one suspected that sharks could give birth to so many babies. There were over 100 in this case, but they turned out to be alive and moving. The fisherman gathered them all and sent them back into the water. It is a pity the video ended earlier, but even the very observation of such an operation on a shark is quite a rare spectacle. How many wild animals suffer from huge accumulations of plastic waste? And how many plastic bags end up in their stomachs? Animals cannot digest it, and so this garbage accumulates, forming a dump inside. An elephant, for example. But seriously, if animals do not get external help, from veterinarians in this case, everything can end very sadly. Hundreds of operations are performed worldwide to save lives. What we wanted to show you is the animals' response to us, humans, regarding how we treat our own planet. They express their opinion to us, in this case, to the huge relief of the elephant, although not necessarily to the relief of the rescuers from the veterinary clinic. Here we see a deer, a normal spotted deer, running away from the operator. Let it run. But my goodness, what is that in the bushes? It turns out this is a deer with a broken neck, and it walks and even runs. How is this possible? Do not rush to faint. This deer did not just get injured. The same deer, or perhaps another with the same broken neck, was caught on camera again in 2019 in St. Mary, Idaho, United States. And a man claimed that a deer with a shockingly crooked neck roamed here for about 4 years, but it did not stop it from eating, living, and continuing to have offspring. This is an epic spectacle. See how the lionesses have gathered and united against a single lion to kill him. What is going on? Why is he not resisting? No healthy lion would ever surrender without a fight. It seems they were not committing a cruel murder, but performing a euthanasia technique. The lionesses slowly strangled him. Apparently the lion might have been ill or old, but in any case, it was one of the most merciless and incredible sights ever caught on camera. It is no surprise that the zoo staff refused to intervene, but probably the lion would have survived if given a chance, although we see that the lion accepted his fate and did not resist. Maybe, for lionly pride, it is better to die torn apart than to part with life due to illness or old age in front of tourists. Surprise, fear, or shock must have been what these kids felt who were merrily splashing in the water. The children were just swimming in a river somewhere in a distant African village when suddenly, right next to them, surfaced such a massive body with a gaping maw. No one was hurt, thank goodness, but who knows how many of these hippos may be lurking under the murky water? What if it specifically swam up and waited for the right moment to scare the children? Personally, I would certainly stutter for a long time after such an encounter. Sea lions constantly make the headlines, but we humans often interfere in their lives with ill intentions. Here, a man provoked the animal's anger by his own stupidity. Even when a dog is gnawing on a bone, it is dangerous to approach. And here the man encroached on the sea lion's meal. The lion was calmly enjoying its fish when the man decided to tease it. I wonder what reaction he expected. The enraged animal immediately attacked the fisherman and tried to strike. What else was it supposed to do? The fisherman managed to jump aside, but there were other people nearby for whom the scene could have been unsafe. What is the point of teasing an animal over its food, especially since this was not even a sea seal but a real lion? A sea elephant in city streets. How do you like that? Then we had all better return to our caves. It is becoming unsafe on the streets if ocean elephants travel through them at night. This clip was filmed in Chile, where a sea elephant was spotted wandering through the neighborhood, and residents were baffled by this sight. What did it want in a populated area? It is not every day you see a giant seal shuffling along the asphalt. In one case, residents came out with large tarpaulins and guided the confused animal back into the ocean. Sea elephants are quite rare, and the chances of encountering them on the street are very small. But let me note that one such elephant, about 13 feet long and weighing about 4,000 pounds, can really damage your car, harm your health, and open a big bill for the insurance company. Otherwise, they are quite cute with their funny noses. There are many videos showing people helping dolphins return to the ocean. This is the most remarkable story of interaction and understanding between a human and a dolphin. A piece of a fishing hook had embedded itself in the dolphin's fin, and it swam right up to a diver to ask for help. It swam very close, circling around him to draw attention. When the diver approached and removed the troubling object with pliers, the dolphin exhaled with relief and vanished into the depths. These videos are selected not to scare you. Some of them may truly amaze you. This breathtaking moment was captured several years ago when a boat full of whale-watching tourists witnessed a mesmerizing spectacle. A humpback whale was very close to the boat, and one of the tourists had his camera ready. And here it is, the lucky moment. The humpback whale gave them a huge surprise, leaping out of the water very close by, emerging its entire body length and showering the boat with a cloud of spray. The viewers trembled with delight, and people on other boats got different angles of this magnificent scene, and no one was harmed. This astonishing encounter will remain forever in these tourists' memory. Wild dramas also happen in aquariums. In this video, nothing terrible happened, just a manta ray and a whale shark, not sharing the way, colliding, and going their separate ways with apologies. But the next incident is not so innocent. A hammerhead shark attacks and devours a manta ray, swimming a long distance holding it in its jaws, until finally the bitten-off piece was swallowed. And what else to expect from a shark? If the aquarium is a scaled-down version of the wild, where the predator's favorite food is also swimming around. But how then to justify this incident to visitors with children? Humans may consider themselves the smartest creatures, but octopuses have also demonstrated their intelligence in various ways. This was proven several years ago when a Russian diver was exploring the Sea of Japan. He noticed a giant octopus and decided to take some close-up shots. Suddenly, the giant approached the diver closely and wrapped its arms with powerful suckers around him. Incredibly, it tried to take away his breathing apparatus and even bite him with its sharp beak. The diver managed to break free from the embrace and push the octopus away, after which the aggressor departed. We have another epic scene from the wild. People in Australia could not explain this spectacle. They saw a python that first appeared dead, and several toads climbed onto its back. But the python suddenly began to move across the wet field, and the toads calmly rode on its back. A strange carousel, is it not? As many as 10. Toads decided to relocate to another area riding on an 11-foot-long python. Researchers were intrigued by this unusual behavior of cane toads. The explanation might be an approaching flood, from which the toads wanted to escape in such a manner. In other words, they were simply waiting for their electric train. This can truly be called bullying. This clip could have been shot only in one place on the planet, in Spain, where there is a strange tradition of releasing enraged bulls into the city. A furious bull in July of 2016 rushed through the streets of Guadalajara until it finally stopped and attacked the first car it encountered. A terrifying sight for both onlookers and those sitting in the car. They literally had no escape. No one was hurt, except the car, but hopefully they had insurance. The bull struck the car with its head 4 or 5 times before letting it go, but oh my goodness, what insane strength! The bull's horn cut through the tire and punctured the radiator, but that is rubber and metal. Frightening to imagine what would happen if the bull attacked something alive. The only good news here is that the car was empty. This demonstration of strength was filmed in 2019 when an enraged rhinoceros saw a parked ranger's car and decided to vent all its life's anger on that poor machine. It turned it around like an empty trash can, as if the car weighed nothing at all. Finally, another car arrived and forced this insane living armored tank off the arena. It is hardly likely the car can be repaired now, but for the one who filmed the video on their camera, the safari certainly turned out memorable. This guy thought that since he was on a skateboard, why not tease a little dog? But the scenario went not as planned. The dog was small, but it turned out to be a guard dog, and the small prank turned into a big chase. It is funny, but the guy maintained his balance and even filmed the angry dog running after him. But when he came to the same place the next day to visit the bakery, the chase repeated. The dog apparently activated a vendetta mode against that particular person. A stunning moment, a meeting between a domestic animal and a marine predator, when a group of fishermen stood on the pier. A dog tried to catch a shark from shore and even dared to jump into the water. One wonders how it planned to manage in the water. The dog barked and growled furiously until the shark was finally pulled ashore. Although it was caught on a hook, it still had its teeth and smacked the dog mightily with its tail. Officials in this park decided as follows. We will buy a very expensive exotic fish and show it in an aquarium to visitors as an attraction. And we will also put a shark in there for the tourists. As for the shark, whether the fish is exotic or just ordinary pollock, it is simply food, and it will eat it until it is full. This would be a good biology lesson for 3rd graders on an excursion. While fishing off the coast of Florida, people watched as a grouper ate a 4-foot shark. An incredible moment caught on camera when the marine bass left the entire fishing crew with nothing. That black-tip shark was their only catch of the entire day. The captain decided to enjoy the catch when this maritime poacher appeared out of nowhere. Actually, these Atlantic Goliath groupers always hide under the boat to steal someone else's catch. One of them jumped out of the water and caught the shark in its jaws, cutting the line, and vanished into the depths now with its own loot. Magic. Can you imagine one great white shark attacking another? This diver could have been torn to pieces during such an encounter, but fortunately, he remained unharmed thanks to the strong bars of his cage. This nightmarish incident happened several years ago. when a diver decided to face a great white shark by submerging himself in an underwater cage a few feet below the surface. The shark appeared out of the blue depths and began exploring the cage, biting it from below. But before it could try every approach, another great white shark appeared in the frame and attacked the first one. I wonder what the diver felt at that moment. You probably think that a shark is the fiercest predator and no one would dare attack it. But no, this giant, a Pacific octopus, was caught red-handed, attacking a spiny dogfish shark in the waters of Seattle. The shark was minding its own business, but right under it, on the bottom, lurked a predator. An octopus usually does not attack sharks, but what came over it to rise from the bottom and start entangling the shark with its 8 legs? It squeezed its body ever tighter until it completely immobilized it. As a result, the shark was strangled in seconds, and this can be called one of the strangest killings ever recorded in the ocean. Off the coast of South Africa, a group of thrill-seekers set out to explore Mossel Bay on an inflatable motorboat. Suddenly, the crew noticed a great white shark that appeared right at the water's surface and swam next to their boat. The crew was excited, trying to guess the big predator's intentions, but she did not stand on ceremony. She tested the boat with her teeth. She simply sank her teeth into the rubber. What attracted her? The smell or the presence of people on board? The boat was doomed, and before it sank, the crew had to slowly move towards the shore. Surprising how a curious fish can send an entire expedition to the bottom. These smaller sharks are called threshers by fishermen due to their enormous strength. Here we see a fisherman trying to haul his catch onto the boat single-handedly, and he almost succeeds, but only until the forces of nature outweighed him. A flip, and now the game continues on the opponent's turf. It must be a pleasant feeling to flip head over heels into water teeming with sharks. The fellow quickly got out of the water and kept his composure. This astonishing incident was filmed in the waters off the island of Fiji. Adventurous divers decided to explore the underwater world and swim among schools of exotic fish, and one of the divers decided to surface a bit higher. At that exact second, a huge tiger shark with jaws wide open appeared above him. It emerged out of nowhere, giving the diver the biggest shock of his life. He was incredibly lucky. In a matter of seconds, he managed to dodge, duck, and push the shark upward. And with the help of the others, they pushed the shark away with spears. Looking at this image, it seems like a fake. The creature depicted here is a bull shark attacking a group of tourists, and it is not a fake. In fact, schools of these huge sharks have been seen in the Mississippi and Amazon rivers, and they really live there. And the idea of an attack is also true. There are also other documentary proofs that they often attack canoes, boats, and other animals. So friends, these were incredible moments with animals that managed to be captured on camera. If you liked it and want to see something similar, write it in the comments. Do not forget to put a like under the video, and check out our previous videos that appeared on your screen now.